Joining us.
Absolutely.
What makes you qualified for the position?
All right. Well, Doc's Dream Team, I think, brings a good mix of experience and enthusiasm for Towson University. I think our ticket's foundation can be summed up into our acronym, which is DREAM, which is part of our ticket name. That's dedicated, responsible, energetic, accountable, and motivated. We have used our time in SGA to yield results for the student body. All of us have been in the SGA. I think it's very important to distinguish the fact that while we enjoy SGA, we love being in SGA, we recognize the problems that are needed fixing. And I think that we have the platform, the initiatives, and ideas that will get us to where we need to be.
All right. So why are you really running? What is the incentive for you guys to run?
Well, I mean, for me personally, I'm a sophomore. I mean, I don't have to run. I have another year to run, but I think at this point we feel that this ticket is qualified to lead this SGA executive board. When we have a brand new president of the university coming in, we need an SGA president and we need a strong SGA executive board to lay a foundation for future professional working bonds with the new president. So, and I feel as if this ticket will be able to do that. From day one, when our first interaction with the new president, we'll be able to make a positive impact to the point where I think we'll have a very good relationship with him or her, whoever it may be.
And what can your ticket as a whole offer to the student body that the other tickets cannot? And why should your whole ticket be elected?
Well, our ticket is diverse in many ways. We have commuters, we have residents, we have Greeks, we have non-Greeks, we have folks who are in the band, folks who have been, well, actually all of us have served in e-boards of student groups. So we know the impact of SGA policies on student groups, and we know how policies are formed within the organization and how some policies are harmful to the organizations. So I think our ticket brings that unique perspective. To emphasize this, we've used our time in SGA to yield results. And I think if you scrutinize our record, you will see that we've done just that. So our purpose here at SGA is not, again, to add a title on a resume. Our purpose is to serve the students and to give back to our Towson University community.
Okay. What are some of the weaknesses in your mind with the SGA currently?
With the current SGA executive board?
Or just the whole organization?
It's a tough question, Dan, considering I serve in the current administration. I think that there's always room for improvement in terms of how we interact with our student groups. I think, for example, last semester during budget hearing, a lure came to us, which is a dance troupe here at Towson University, asking for costumes, because their sole purpose here in the university and their group's mission is to perform and provide shows for our Towson University community. So they asked for costumes, which I think is a fair thing to ask for, but we denied them. But at the same time, we as an SGA receive polos, T-shirts, baseball tees that we can get, no problem. So I think it's very important. I think one thing that could be improved from this year's SGA to next year's SGA is to make sure that our policies and our mindset is driven to student group success, and that our mindset is not necessarily to focus on us, but focus on the students. So that's one improvement from this year for next
year. And you talked about weaknesses. Mm-hmm. If you guys are elected as a full ticket, what will be the differences that students will see next year?
Again, we bring a diverse perspective because we truly represent all types of students. So we understand the problems facing Greek life, facing our sports clubs, facing our commuters, our residents, folks who are the LGBT community, and so we understand what the problems are, and our ticket members are very proactive. We don't sit around and wait till the problem gets worse. We address it immediately. So we have had experience and have made connections with administrators, faculty and staff, and alumni, and folks in the community, and with me in Annapolis, that will be able for us to properly advocate for our student population.
Ask this person. I don't particularly understand it.
So we're asking this to each of the tickets. Has your ticket or each of your candidates received any violations or strikes within the election commission this year?
I'm not sure I'm allowed to disclose that information. I'm not
Okay.
sure if I am.
Just out of policy, or
I believe the commission decides whether or not that is disclosed or not.
okay.
Okay. All right. What power do you believe that the SGA has over the entire university?
Mhm.
And how big of an influence is the SGA apart from funding student organizations?
Mhm. Well, I think the SGA can be as powerful or as weak as, depending on leadership. The SGA has a budget totaling over $1.4 million. That's a big organization. If you look at other system schools' SGA, we are the largest funded SGA in any school in the state of Maryland. College Park has a smaller budget than we do. So we can use our influence in that status to make greater impact. The SGA president meets with this past year with President Corrett and in past years. So the SGA president has a lot of influence in the policy formation process within the university. So it is up to the leadership within the SGA, within the executive board, to lead the way and direct which path our influence will be. So that's
Okay.
how it is.
How did you come up with who was going to be on your ticket personally? And did you fill certain demographics, or did you kind of pick from certain organizations or things like that?
Well, for me, I thought of running, a while back. And during SGA meetings in the office, I looked around and who I thought were the best people to be in my ticket. And I think I've done a pretty good job in finding those folks. I think what you see again, because for me personally, I'm driven by results. That's how I measure my work and my ability to be effective as a leader, by results.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking for people in my ticket who, should I say, mindset, who live by those principles. And again, John, Marissa, Jaden, Courtney live by the same principles. They see a problem, they address it, and then they fix it. So I'm not necessarily big on filling people from certain demographics. I think it's just a coincidence that's the case.
Okay.
I think that our ticket is diverse not by choice. It's not as if I said, well, here's a list of black senators, here's a list of gay senators, here's a list of, whatever senators. It's a matter of these folks were good at what they were doing, and they happen to be diverse.
What new policies do you and your ticket plan to implement, and do you see those policies being feasible to actually carry out?
Now, in what level? Is it SGA level or university level?
University level,
Yeah.
just different ideas, plans for next year, kind of thing.
Right. Well, so our ticket is focusing on two main areas of our TU experience here at Towson University. The first is your classroom experience. Now, our ticket believes that the current system of advising here at Towson University is very dysfunctional. The current definition and the norm here is that you as a student go to your advisor, sit down for 5 minutes, get checked off, and you're good to go to sign up for classes. That isn't advising. It's foolish and silly to call it advising. So what we want to do is hire full-time advisors who actually care about what they do, who have received training and education in advising, who will be able to assist students from day one here at Towson University to the very last day that they need to be advised, to make sure that their 4 years at Towson University are mapped properly. I think what you see now are students who are frankly not pleased with the current system here at Towson University. That's the first thing in the classroom experience. The second area is course availability. I think all of us in this room, and frankly the majority here on campus, have heard of the horror story of a senior on the verge of graduation, needing one more class to graduate, and the class is either not offered this semester, the class is offered at a very inconvenient time, the class is offered, in a different semester or whatever. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to have more classes online. What that does is it offers students options. For those who can learn fine and properly on a computer, they have that option. You know, for those who have full-time jobs and paying for their college education, they can take their classes online and they can manage their time wisely. That's an option. And for those like me, for example, who prefer being in a classroom setting and having a professor physically teach me the lessons, that too is an option for me. So what this does is it opens seats in the classroom for those seniors who need to take these classes, for those seniors who have full-time jobs but still need to take these classes. What this does is it offers more options, and it creates a more common sense approach. And we're all here at Towson University, and we as students should expect that a university should offer classes regularly and have a lot of course offerings for students to take. And currently that isn't happening.
So, how will your SVA budget be used?
Well, what we're going to do is have more funding for student groups, first and foremost. Currently, there's one grant in the SGA account, which is the Prove It fund. What we're going to do is have more grants available to all segments of the population, sports clubs, Greek life, students in general, student groups, cultural groups, so that people can utilize these funds to make sure that we are producing a good campus experience for everybody. And what we're going to do is allocate more funding for Tiger Fest and our annual concerts here at Towson University to make sure that we have big name artists here and that Towson University is placed on the map, not only in the state of Maryland, but nationwide. That is the only way that we can ensure that this tradition continues to live on. Like this year, for example, it is a week and a half before Tiger Fest, and we still don't know who the headliner is. That is far from being okay. So what we're going to do is make sure that we have enough funds in the budget for Tiger Fest and Homecoming to make sure that students are excited about Tiger Fest, that students are looking forward to Homecoming concert. That's the way it should be. They pay a lot of money. These students that go towards the SGA budget. Okay, they should expect a good Homecoming concert. They should expect a good Tiger Fest.
And Tiger Fest is pretty big, but there are some other issues that I'm pretty sure students talk about. Out of those issues that students talk about, parking, textbook, etc., which one do you see as one of the largest or the biggest concerns for students?
I think at this point, the biggest concern is a proposed mandatory fee for textbook rental. Personally, I oppose it. I think that it takes away a student's right to shop around. In this time where all families, regardless of rich, poor, middle class, are going through some pretty difficult times, students choose to shop around. And in fact, a survey which is done by the SGA that showed that the majority of the students choose to buy textbooks as opposed to rent textbooks. This proposed policy would mandate a student here at Towson University to pay a fee to rent their textbooks here at the bookstore. And in the same survey, we found that the majority of the students look elsewhere, not the bookstore, look elsewhere to buy their textbooks. So it shows that our students are very conscious of the current financial situation that everyone is facing. They don't want to be forced to pay another fee as if these fees aren't high enough. So what they want is more options for people to look around and shop for their textbooks. So that's probably the most important issue, in my opinion, currently in the SGA, that we should work on next year.
And it seems you guys know a lot about what's going on with the students. Some things that have been brought up are the transparency for the SGA.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about transparency with the SGA now, and what do you plan to do about it in the future?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm all for transparency. I'm a big proponent of transparency. I've been a strong advocate for it since I was a senator last year. What we want to do is, I want any student here at Towson University to hold us accountable to what we do. Our promises during the campaign, and if we're in office, what we do in office. So what we're going to do is release our budget online and put what we spend every single dime online. It's your money. It's your money. You have the right to examine what your SGA is spending your money for. to hold us accountable in terms of our ability to serve our student groups, I propose having a report card for SGA. So every semester, we will send a questionnaire to every single student group and have them grade us. Okay? Have them grade us. How were we helpful to you this semester? How was your senator? Were we open to your suggestions, et cetera, to gauge how we as an SGA are fulfilling their needs. And our role as an SGA, in my opinion, is not to regulate student groups. That isn't our role. Our role is to serve as a resource to our organizations here on campus. Okay? So we want to switch the mindset from the regulator to the advisor. Okay? So I want student groups to come to us next year and say, and are excited and say, we have a great idea. And I want all of us in one voice to say, we'll help you fulfill that idea. So a report card holds us accountable to our actions every semester. And if we are getting poor grades, if we're getting far from where we should be, we will change our policies, and if necessary, change our personnel and those who are in office that are responsible for those areas.
Okay. And school spirit, it's pretty big. How do you guys feel about it now? How you think it can improve, or what do you think of the status at this point, and how it can change?
Frankly, I think school spirit is far from being okay. You know, during winter break, I was here frequently at Towson, and I went to all the basketball games, home games. And at times, I was the only fan in the stand was the pep band, which is not okay. You know, our fans cannot be fair weather fans. You know, you can't choose to be a Tiger fan when they're winning and choose to take your hat off as a Tiger fan when they're losing. So what we're going to do is work with athletics and marketing to find ways to collaborate, better ways to make sure that our students are excited about our athletic teams here at Towson University and are proud to call themselves Towson Tigers. So I think at this point, the new AD, Mike Waddell, has done a pretty good job in terms of changing personnel and changing the attitude of athletics into the focus. And we want to be an able partner to them in fulfilling their goals. So if that means funding, so be it. If that means more support from our organization, so be it. Whatever it takes. Towson University students should be proud of who they are, what they are, and where they are.
All right, those are all of our questions. If there's just a final plug you want to say to the students.
Hey guys, again, we're Doc's Dream Team. This year's a very important election. It is a three-way race. Each vote will count. I think that we have shown you all the past 2 weeks of campaigning that we have the best ticket to lead you next year. So hopefully we have earned not only your vote, but your trust will lead your next executive board. Thank you.